Good morning, guys. Getting back at it. Tuesday morning here. Today we're going to talk about fasting, and maybe more specifically intermittent fasting. Okay, so first of all, fasting is technically just not eating. If you think about the word breakfast, it's a break from your fast. Okay, usually most people obviously fast during their sleep, and then when they wake up and they have breakfast, that's breaking their fast because they're eating. Intermittent fasting is, it's a period of time. Some people do 12 hours, some people do 8, where they consume all their calories in that period of time, and then the rest of the day they do not. Okay, that would be intermittent fasting. So the science behind it, technically the food that we eat, it's broken down in our gut, and then it enters our bloodstream. But if you think about carbs, which are sugars, they're broken down quickly into sugar, and then our cells they use them as energy. But if our cells don't use them all, we store it in our fat cells as fat. But sugar can only enter our cells with insulin. Insulin brings sugar into the fat cells and keeps it there. So between meals, if we don't snack, our insulin levels will go down, and our fat cells can then release their stored sugar, and that can be used as energy. So, one benefit for weight loss is, one benefit of intermittent fasting is weight loss, because we lose weight if we let our insulin levels go down. So, one big benefit, a big reason why a lot of people do it is because intermittent fasting allows your insulin levels to go down far enough and for long enough that it burns fat. One big thing that I've researched on intermittent fasting is just timing of your fast. We've kind of evolved to a daytime eat and a nighttime sleep routine, and it's also known as your circadian rhythm. Okay, there's this study group at the University of Alabama. They did 2 study groups. One had a intermittent fast of only 8 hours, but it was from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so our circadian rhythm. And the other one was 12 hours, but it was from 7 to 7, so it went a little bit deeper into the night. And actually the study group that only went 8 hours but was more matched with our sleep schedule had much lower blood pressure and lower insulin levels. So the timing of when we eat can also have a pretty big impact on our body and how it responds. My experience with intermittent fasting and fasting is one noticeable change that I've experienced is just my appetite. Most times we eat just because we don't have anything else to do, or it's actually cultural. Think about sitting down at night watching a movie. You usually have a bag of chips, or you have some popcorn, or you have a pop. Okay, a lot of why we eat is not really for fueling our body. But when I fast, what I've noticed is that during those dull times where I would maybe go for a snack, I'm not hungry. I don't have that sensation anymore. I've done it twice this past month where I've fasted for 24 hours just because I'm goofy. There are some things you need to be careful about getting in the habit of fasting like that. And it depends on your health condition, if you were to ever try something like that. But I tried it, and that was one big thing. Is the following days after, I just don't snack. I don't feel that hunger sensation anymore. So that was a good thing, because then those other days, when I choose to eat, it's foods that are beneficial for my body. Um, so yeah. Only one other thing I would say is, maybe athletes are thinking, well, you talk about nutrients fueling our body, but now you're talking about, let's say I stopped eating at 3 p.m. because that's what my circadian rhythm says. But I have games at 7 p.m. and I need to fuel my body. It's a good point. And I talked about this a lot with the first semester group. A great time period for fueling your body, if you're going to have a big meal or foods that take a little bit longer to digest, kind of the magic number is 4 hours. Okay, you'll want to consume your last big meal 4 hours before your event or your game, and then leading up to it, let's say an hour before, you're going to want to consume smaller, easier to digest foods, like a banana or an apple, things like that your body can use more quickly. Okay, but then afterwards too, like obviously you've probably heard of. Most people know what protein does. Protein helps rebuild and repair muscle. So if you get done with a game, sometimes if it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, fueling your body with something like that to help the repair process is all right. It's just excess amounts that you need to be careful of. All right. Intermittent fasting. Remember, I'm just giving you guys things to think about. I'm not telling you what to think. Maybe you can take one or two things away from what we talked about today. And if not, that's okay. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. Take care. Peace.